Hi, you guys. Thank you for joining into this episode of Tips with T. I have Mr. Nelson here with me today. Mr. Nelson, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
I am doing awesome. I'm glad that you are on the show today. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do as an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. So my name is Nelson. I'm based in Silicon Valley, California. If you guys don't know where that is, it's just south of San Francisco and still in the San Francisco Bay Area. And what I do, I help personal trainers understand financial literacy as it pertains to the fitness world. In Silicon Valley, it's very easy to find a tech job. And if you are working in any other industry, but within this area, it can be really hard because the cost of living is just so high over here. So what happens within the fitness industry is there's a lot of personal trainers, there's a lot of people who are teaching group exercise, but their net income, the money that they're able to live off of, it's pretty low in comparison to what is needed in Silicon Valley. I'm one of the handful of people who are not financially struggling. So using my background in business, I actually got my master's in business administration, and I launched my own book and launched my own company. My whole mission is to help other fitness professionals understand what to do with the sales revenue after the sale has been made. So helping them develop the financial literacy and develop a lucrative career for themselves.
That's awesome. I do know that the cost of living there is extremely high.
Oh, yeah.
I have a couple of clients out there, Waves has clients, and I'm trying to, help them with their financial planning so they'll be able to, set goals and standards for themselves so they can reach their financial goals. So I can completely understand why you came up with your literacy program for that particular area.
Yep, it is a very unique area in the United States. I'll put it that way.
Okay. So I know when we had talked briefly, we had talked about the 3 different points of income that you teach your clients. So what are those 3 different points of incomes that you teach your clients, and why is it so important?
Absolutely. So this is really common, not only in my industry, but in so many different industries. In the traditional educational system within the United States, we're taught to be really good at the craft that we're doing. Then when we enter in the workforce, we get a job. So one of the 3 forms of income is always going to be called ordinary earned. Ordinary earned comes from your job, and it gets taxed by the end of the year. You could be at almost a 40% tax bracket. It's the most common. You go around and everyone receives their W-2. So that income is called ordinary earned. But if you take a look at any of the most wealthy people within the United States or even around the world, they have the other 2 as well. They have portfolio income and they also have passive income. And that also needs to be made known because this is going to be the path to develop and accumulate wealth for anybody. Passive income, this is going to be income developed from rental property or limited liability partnership or any other means where the person is not actively involved. So you're going to see people developing a product or a logo or something, and then they go license it or something. That's forms of passive income. The third one is going to be portfolio. And portfolio is going to be talking more in terms of investments and dividends, if you invest in stocks, interest, if you loan something out, capital gains, even royalties from a book. So I educate personal trainers and kind of get them in that mindset to look at income 3 different ways. There's going to be training that individual client, working inside of a gym. But if you take a close look at Facebook or Instagram or even on LinkedIn, there's going to be these fitness entrepreneurs who are social media influencers. Well, they're doing something that other people aren't doing. They're writing the books. They're creating programs. They're creating actual products. And on the back end, you may not even see it. They're probably investing in real estate and investing into stocks. So they're leveraging a lot of their skill sets and money in order to develop their wealth. They're becoming more than just personal trainers one-on-one. They're that as well as investors, as well as entrepreneurs. So I wanted to expand personal trainers' mindsets to get them outside of the gym and to think of, hey, there's more opportunity to get money, to develop financial sustainability, and to find some stability for myself and my life.
Awesome. So basically, it's like having them looking at it to where they can get more, like multiple streams of income. Just look at it as looking at it from a different perspective.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's so many opportunities, not just in fitness, but I mean, take it. Once you understand the framework, once you understand what to look for, it's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. So I never had these three broken down. So it's ordinary income, portfolio income, and passive income. Those are the three.
Absolutely. Those are the three.
Okay, awesome. So I understand that you wrote a book. So did you write a book
Yes.
on these income on the three?
Yes, absolutely. Not just those three, but a couple other business concepts that help clarify how money works.
Awesome. So you wrote a book and then you said you turned your book into a course. So tell us more about how you turned your book into an actual course.
Sure. So the book is called For the Fit but Poor Personal Trainer, a guide on how to train money, not muscle, to grow. So I not only explain the three forms of income, I explain the four roles any personal trainer can be. That's going to be an employee, self-employed, business owner, as well as investor. I explain finance and accounting, and I want to make sure that I have the voice that's applicable for the fitness industry. So I use a lot of analogies that make finance and accounting, which are otherwise really dry, and translate them into fitness terms. I want to make sure these concepts, these very important concepts, stick with the intended audience. It has been faring well, and so I eventually took that concept. Now, in my industry, it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's really hard to get someone to pick up an accounting book and read it and get them to understand the importance of it. However, what happens in my industry is a lot of the personal trainers are certified. In order to keep up their certification, they have to recertify every 2 to 3 years. But upon that data certification, they have to have accumulated continuation education units. Those units prove to the agency that they were certified with that they were continuing with their education, that were taking courses, they were reading books and hands-on training and all of that stuff. I am officially now one of those educators who can provide those units for the personal trainers to prove to their agency that they've been continuing with their education. So on my website, you can, first you have to download and read the book or listen to the audio version of it, then go to my website and take this course for about 25 questions. You go through the concepts and it reviews all the important concepts of the book, download your certificate, and then you turn it into the agency that you got your personal training certificate. So it is proof that not only are you a great personal trainer, but you also have the financial acumen to continue in your career.
Awesome. Awesome. I would never thought about or actually ever think to turn a book into an actual course to make it so someone can learn and get that education that they need. But it is very much needed. I tell my clients all the time, do not go hands off, to make sure that they're knowing some type of a little bit of an accounting aspect of something of your business about what you're doing. Don't completely go blind. You need to know the ins and outs about your business better than anyone else, better than your bookkeeper. So people find that hard to believe, but I mean, get someone that's willing to teach you and help you break it down to your understanding so you can know the odds and ends about your business. Because you know, your bookkeeper might get sick. Your bookkeeper might just up and move.
I know.
So you want to know the standing of your business. So I very commend you on what you're doing and trying to teach others how to get there. Because I'm doing that here myself. So what are some of the other books that you wrote or that you want to talk about so your listeners can go out and buy them?
Sure. So that's my first book. That's going to be my first version, but stay tuned. Keep in touch with me. You can visit me on my website, coachnellytoriano.com. Sign up for my email. I occasionally send out email blasts for the latest tips, the financial tips. They're really geared to fitness professionals as well, but they're communicated to the fitness professionals, but the application of it is really, it pertains to basically anybody. I mean, many of us have jobs. Many of us kind of don't understand the importance of passive income, portfolio income, compounded interest, all of these accounting and financial terms that really across the board, we all need to know. So come visit me. Stay tuned and keep in touch with me because soon I'll be releasing more advanced concepts. I'm going to talk about, in this particular book, I talk about investments in the term of what we call paper assets. So that's going to be stocks, bonds, mutual funds. But in my next iteration of the book, I want to go more depth into wealth management. And so the returns on investments in real estate are a little better. They're in the double digits as well. So if you take a look at the wealthiest of people and what they're investing in, no matter what job that they have, there's different vehicles for that as well. Keep in touch with me on LinkedIn. I post a lot on LinkedIn. Maybe not so much on Instagram. Maybe I can't write so much on Instagram. But come visit me on LinkedIn as well. And also my blog. I post a lot of new concept as well. So it really is important that I want to communicate accounting and finance. And again, like you said, it is so important in order for us to feel confident in those subjects.
That's awesome. So I do have another question. So what would you recommend? Because I'm just looking at the different three types of income. So what would you suggest would be like a good passive income, something that someone don't necessarily have to work that hard for, but can bring them income? Like what did you find to be beneficial for you as far as passive income?
Rental property. Yeah. So even in that asset, a lot of people will think that you have to work so hard in ordinary earned income in order to have the capital, in order to purchase a property, in order to rent out that property. So the common mindset is home ownership in the sense that I have to save up a whole lot in order to get that asset. So it almost makes it so far reached intimidating for some people. However, if you take a closer look, there's a lot of rental properties, there's a lot of pieces of real estate throughout the country that you can actually use what we call OPM, other people's money. So there are strategies, plenty of strategies, real estate strategies that you can use for what we call creative financing, that you can actually purchase a property. There's wonderful mentors. Keep in touch with me. Again, reach out to me and I'll introduce you to these people as well. They'll help you purchase a rental property the correct way. Setting up a business structure in order to protect the asset. So if anyone gets sued, they're not going after you specifically, they're going after your corporation, right? Yes. But also choosing the specific property in the particular condition that will guarantee you a positive net cash flow. So a lot of people will think net rental property, I'm just going to go out and just buy a condo or just buy a house or something, and I'll make the numbers work and hopefully I get some rental income. Well, true investors, they don't make that leap. They spend a lot of time calculating whether that particular real estate at that particular address is even worth my time. And they go through a long spreadsheet and checklists of, hey, are these numbers working? By the time the second that I purchase it, will I guarantee myself there's going to be anywhere between 300 to 500 cash flow within that month? I'll have a tip for you. Okay, so I'm on the show that has a bunch of tips, right? So here's a tip. Let's say any of the listeners have any type of retirement account. The retirement account, Roth IRA or IRA, usually those accounts, look those up, usually those accounts hold your money in the market, the stock market. Mm-hmm. Now, what is not known is you can roll over that money into what we call, quote, self-directed IRAs. Again, I'll forward you that information, right? I didn't even know this until like 2 months ago, okay?
Yeah, I just see my face, I was like, wait, I never heard of that before.
Nobody knows about it. I promise you, it's real. I'm not making this up because I just did the process. Roll your money over from whoever's holding your Roth IRA, where you are limited to just the stock market. Because if that's your retirement, you can actually designate what asset you can invest that cash in. So what I did was I rolled over to a self-directed IRA, which gives me the freedom to pick either stocks or real estate. Mm-hmm. So I've been working with this company and we're all like, if real estate is offering double-digit returns, that must mean that my retirement account it's still a Roth, it's still in an IRA, is going to grow exponentially based on the compounded interest, right? At a faster rate than it would be in the stock market. So, listeners, here's a tip for you. Double check if your Roth IRA is technically self-directed and you have a choice whether or not you can use it in paper assets or real estate. Not all Roth IRAs and IRAs are treated equally.
That's a good tip. I mean, that really is a good tip. No, because I'm in here because most of the retirement plans, they do investments, but it's mostly so in stocks. You know, they just take it and put it in different stocks for you that they feel like will be beneficial to you, but they don't give you the option to invest your retirement into real estate.
Yep. And these companies, and I found several, one in particular that I'm working, will actually, they do a wonderful job at doing a lot of the analysis for you and literally walk your hand through the process. Another limitation for some people is think that I have to buy real estate in my hometown. Well, no, I'm based in California, but my first real estate property now is in Indianapolis. And to be honest, I'm looking at Charlotte, Kansas City, Dallas, and it really does depend on the numbers that the deal, the actual house, and all of these other factors. But yeah, there's a tip for you listeners. Double check that.
Most definitely will double check that. Okay, so tell us how we can get in contact with you for more of your helpful tips. And I'm gonna share the screen with your handles.
Yeah. My website is www.coachnellytoriano.com. Email me there, nelson@coachnellytoriano.com. My Facebook, Coach Nelly Toriano, that's gonna be my Facebook page. My LinkedIn is my personal name though, Nelson E. Toriano. Would love to. Oh, and my Instagram, my handle is Coach Nelly Toriano. I post a lot of pictures of my dogs and working out, but a lot of the most useful tips about money and business and entrepreneurship, you'll find it on LinkedIn.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for coming on the show today, giving us all your tips. I'm really going to look into this real estate stuff for myself because I always kind of wanted to invest in real estate, but didn't know the odds and ends and outs of it. Yep. But guys, here is my contact information. If you want to contact me, my number is 910-317-0396. You can email me at contact@mjfinancial.biz. You can schedule your consultation at www.mjfinancial.biz. And you can find this episode on today with Mr. Nelson when he's giving all his helpful tips about how you can get your 3 different points of income and this little tip that he gave us about real estate on Anchor, you guys. And thank you guys for listening in. Thank you again, Mr. Nelson, for being on our show today. You were very, very helpful. You enlightened me. You taught me something I didn't never know or heard about. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, you guys. So we'll see you on the next episode and have a nice day.